Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, welcome back to another episode of Books and Buds, where we discuss two of the greatest things on planet Earth, books and buds. Today we're going to be discussing a book called In Cold Blood by Truman Capote. Now, what prompted me to read this book was watching the movie, because anytime I see a movie that's based upon a writer, the writer's lives, I am just eager to watch it. And I had never heard of Truman Capote until this, and I'm also a big fan of Philip Seymour Hoffman. I was pretty saddened by his death, actually, because I thought he was such a good actor, but oh well, that's a subject for another day. Today I want to talk about that book that the movie was based on. It was based on basically his research in the murders in Holcomb, Kansas. It was the Clutter family, and I'll get into a little more detail in a second, but before I get into that, I'd like to introduce you to two of the newest members of the Burning Bush family. If you're unfamiliar with the channel, Burning Bush is a medical marijuana delivery service up in the beautiful state of Maine, and so we brought cookies and chem. This was given to us by one of our patients who wanted to see how well we could grow it. So they got some seeds from this wonderful seed bag out in California, and they just gave us all their seeds and said, we want to see what you guys can do with it. So this is cookies and chem. And the other one that they gave us about 20 packs. These are the first ones we popped. This one's Bodega Bubblegum. So we're really curious to see what these two young ladies can do. We're going to be running them through the rooms in a couple months here, once they get a little bigger. But, be eager to show you guys the results of that. So that's pretty much it on the bud front today. However, this channel is called Books and Buds, so let's get into the books portion of it, shall we? So yeah, In True Blood by Truman Capote, it was such an amazing book. But like I said, I was intrigued because I saw the movie and I was like, oh geez, I want to see the book that this movie was based around. It was, like I said, based on the Clutter murders that took place in Holcomb, Kansas, a long time ago now. I believe it was the 60s or something like that. But so what happened was there was a mother and a father and two children that lived on this farm out in the middle of nowhere in Kansas, and they were just a wonderful family, because the first 50 or so, maybe 70 pages of the book was just describing the family's lives. And so I was immediately very impressed with Truman Capote's ability to write and to get you into the community, the family, just the lifestyle back then. They were a church-going family. They were well known in the community. They were well loved. So this murder came as a surprise. And the writing was so fascinating that even though this was like a true crime book, I felt like I was reading a fiction novel. It was you were so involved in the book, and every single word I just hung on it. This guy was truly a master of his craft. So like I said, the writing was so beautiful that when it actually came to the murders, even though you know it was coming, it was just brutal. And he described in such good detail how the murderers did it that you felt like you were there, and it gave you a really icky, sticky feeling, which was just so strange because the book was so beautiful leading up to that moment. So after the murders, all right, because we even get to see who the murderers are, and we see what their lives are. There's this guy named Dick Hickok and Perry Smith. Now, Perry Smith was pretty much the main character of these two that we focused on throughout the book. But it delved into these two and their lives and how they met and how they came to be such criminals. And the writing was just so beautiful. Like, even after the murders, you kind of found yourself almost, as awful as it to say, like kind of liking this guy Perry Smith, and even like identifying with him in some ways. It's just an awful thing to say, but it's a statement to how powerful Truman Capote was as a writer. He was just fantastically talented writer. So then the rest of the book, it pretty much just focuses on the detective work, and they're just following up on leads. They're interviewing people in town. They pretty much got like no clue. It was just like a shoe print. It was a very small shoe. So it goes back and forth between the detective work and what they're going through and what actually happened with the murderers, because they fled. They actually went to Mexico, and they didn't go down to Mexico with much. They rarely robbed his family for anything, and they executed him and took basically nothing. They got nothing. They pretty much thought the guy was hoarding cash. They got some intel from somewhere that the guy was loaded, that he had a safe or something like that. It turns out none of it was true. They left that house after murdering 4 innocent people with next to nothing. Took off to Mexico, where they found out it was very, very difficult to make a living, and they foolishly, but out of desperation, had to come back to Kansas. And that was their big mistake, because the police were already onto them, and the police were pretty much already given up on finding them because they knew they fled. And they knew it was going to be impossible to find them because they didn't think they'd be stupid enough to come back. But they did come back. So then after that, the book gets a little boring, but it's still written so beautifully you can't help but continue, where it goes into all the court proceedings and everything else, how they were found guilty. And then even beyond that, it goes into their death sentence and how Truman Capote used to go visit Harry Smith and actually attended his funeral. Not his funeral, but his execution. And it was just fascinating. It was a fascinating book. And if I didn't know it was based on a true story, I would have thought this guy had one hell of a good imagination, because it was written beautifully. You were there. It wasn't like factual like most of these, like an Anne Rule book, where just, basically gives you the details that you need to know about the crime, and it's written in a very short amount of pages. No, this guy went into some serious detail where you could smell the grass, you could feel the sunshine on your skin, or you could feel the rain on a cloudy day. It was all there. You could even hear the crickets in the tall grass in the fields. It was amazing. I'm not going to bother leaving an actual Amazon review of this book, because he doesn't need the help selling it. I mean, he's already made a movie out of it. And I usually only try to help my authors that need the help on this channel, but I do like to promote books that are just amazing and well told as well on this channel. And In Cold Blood by Truman Capote was one of those. So hey guys, if you're interested in checking out my own writing, I have a novella out called Echoes of Yesterday. It's in this Love Askew box set, available on Amazon, Apple, Barnes & Noble, Kobo. It's available on all these platforms for only 99 cents. It officially came out on, I think, Monday. So it's available now. My book is only one of 30 in there. It's only 99 cents for 30 books. But what I'm hoping is that if you pick it up for that cheap, you'll like it, and hopefully pick up my new book, my very first debut novel coming out this year, called Corpse Lily. Now, I'm a literary writer, and that's why I picked up In Cold Blood, because this guy wrote like a literary genius. He wrote like a master. So hopefully you'll pick up those. I'll leave a link for the Love Askew box set in the description below. Other than that, everybody, please, it helps out quite a bit. If you like, subscribe, comment below, tell me if you love me, tell me you hate me even. I don't care. I'll probably respond to you and approach you with love. But you could have clicked on any book review channel out there, and for some reason you clicked on mine. I love the hell out of you for it.